So hello and welcome to yet another Views from a Veranda, from a different veranda today. Look, I thought I'd share with you my thoughts on what makes a property a potential redevelopment site and therefore becomes of interest to developers, and there's a potential upside in value and price. So look, when we're talking to a lot of homeowners, there's a lot of confusion and misconceptions out there about what does represent a redevelopment site. So I thought I'd just share with you my thoughts. Obviously, if you are going to get advice, talk to Sutherland Council or to an expert in this area. But essentially there's two areas to consider. Firstly is your actual block size. Anything over 600 square metres, there's a good chance you can do a duplex on that site, especially if it's a corner block, or a wider block as well. In most cases they're 2 stories in height. If you've got anything over 800 and above square metres, then you can do what they call a dual occupancy. That's putting a property behind a property with maybe a right of way down the back. So that's a different type of development. If you've got a site which is 900 square metres and above, there's a new type of development around called a manor house development. It's almost like a small block of units where you might be able to put 4 units on a particular block, upstairs and downstairs, and that's a new type of development that's around at the moment. Then the next size up would be 1,200 square metres, and that could be a large block, or it could be a block consolidated, or a couple of blocks consolidated together where owners come together. That really lends itself to medium density, where you are able to put townhouses on those sort of sites as well. So the other thing to consider and look at is what we call zoning. There are different zonings within the Shire, and they relate to floor space ratio. So that's the amount or the size of the footprint you can build on. The first is R2 zoning, and that actually relates to the fact that you can build on 55% of the land, and in most cases, again, they're 2 stories in height. You then get R3 zoning, and that's where you're able to build on 70% of the land, so you're able to build a bigger property or potentially more townhouses. And then the next area we have is R4, and that's where you have the more higher density type development, apartment development. In that case, what you're looking at is a floor space ratio. Sometimes it starts at about 1.2 or about 120% of the land. In other cases it can go up to 3 or 300% or even higher above. So that's where you start to see 4 to 5 story apartment developments, or even higher still, 13 to 15 story apartment developments, especially within the Shire. So it's important to understand the different zonings as well as the different block sizes that dictate, obviously whether your block or your house is a potential redevelopment site. As I mentioned again, you really should get expert advice. Talk to Sutherland Council. The planners there are very, very accessible, or talk to some other expert in that area. But look, if you are considering whether your site might be a redevelopment site and how to get the best possible price for through a developer type approach, contact us, message us. We're here to give you the best advice the Shire can provide. But until next time, you all take care and look after each other. Thank you.